Welcome to Entrepreneurial Edge. How much do you think is a human life worth? In dollars. It feels wrong to even ask, but in the real world, governments and businesses face this question all the time. When deciding whether to build safer roads or invest in cleaner air, they need a way to weigh costs against the value of saving lives. That's where economics steps in, with a controversial but necessary tool, putting a price on life, not to judge anyone's worth, but to help make tough decisions. This isn't about putting a price tag on your soul. It's about asking, how much are we as a society willing to spend to prevent a single anonymous death? It's a shift from the personal to the statistical, and it's the only way to make public safety measurable and actionable. So, when you hear about the value of a life in policy debates, remember, it's not about individuals, but about how we allocate resources to save as many lives as possible. Understanding this distinction is key to unpacking the ethics and economics behind life and death decisions. It's unsettling, but it's also essential for making the world safer. Let's explore how this number is calculated and why it matters. Because, uncomfortable as it is, putting a price on life shapes the world we live in. The journey starts at the intersection of ethics, economics, and mortality. Ready? Let's dive in. Economists use the term value of a statistical life, or VSL. It's not the value of a specific person, but an estimate of what people are willing to pay for small reductions in their risk of dying. Imagine a town of 100,000 people. If each person is willing to pay $100 for a safety upgrade that saves one life per year, the VSL is $10 million. This number is crucial for cost-benefit analysis. Agencies like the EPA or Department of Transportation use it to decide if new rules are worth the cost. If a regulation costs $1 billion but saves 200 lives and the VSL is $10 million, the benefit is $2 billion, making the rule economically justified. The VSL isn't a price tag on a person. It's a tool for comparing life-saving potential across projects. It lets policymakers speak a common language, money, when making tough choices. Without it, we'd have no way to compare the value of highway safety to medical research. Imperfect? Absolutely. But it's the best way we have to make data-driven decisions about saving lives. That's why the VSL matters. So, how do economists actually calculate the VSL? They don't just ask people, how much is your life worth? The main method is willingness to pay, measuring how much extra pay people demand for riskier jobs, or how much they'll spend to reduce risk. For example, loggers earn more than furniture makers because their jobs are riskier. That wage difference helps estimate the value people place on reducing risk. Another less favored method is the human capital approach, calculating lost future earnings. But this method is ethically fraught, as it values high earners more and ignores those not in the workforce. That's why most agencies now use willingness to pay, which reflects real-world choices about risk. It's not perfect, but it's more ethical and practical than the alternatives. Calculating the incalculable is messy, but it's necessary for policy, and it's how we put a number on the value of life. The value of a statistical life isn't universal. In the US, federal agencies use figures around $13 million. The EPA uses about $12.9 million. The Department of Transportation, a bit less. In Europe, VSLs range from $3 to $7.5 million, varying by country and wealth. In developing countries, the VSL can be as low as $1 to $2 million, reflecting lower incomes and ability to pay. This isn't a moral judgment, it's an economic reality. Wealthier societies can afford to spend more on safety. These differences have huge implications for global policy and corporate standards. Should a company use its home country's VSL or the local one when operating abroad? There's no easy answer. The numbers reflect the world as it is, not as it should be. The VSL isn't just theory, it shapes the world around us. Every safety feature in your car, every clean air regulation, is justified using the VSL. The EPA's Clean Air Act, for example, uses VSL to show that the value of lives saved far outweighs industry costs. Critics argue that VSL commodifies life and favors the wealthy, but without it, defending vital protections would be much harder. The ethical debate is real. Should safety be a right, not a calculation? Is any method truly fair? Yet, with limited resources, we have to make choices. The VSL provides a transparent, if imperfect, way to do that. It forces policymakers to justify decisions and confront uncomfortable trade-offs. Ultimately, it's a tool for navigating the messy intersection of money and mortality. The question remains, what price are we willing to pay for a safer world? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into life's toughest questions.